My name is Cherié Butts. I am a medical director at Biogen in Cambridge, Massachusetts. I have been coming to AAI since I believe 1998 or 99. I've been a member, an official member since '01. Why do I keep coming back? I love the community. That's what AAI provides you, is that scientific community. For many of us, we're in institutions where there are very few immunologists. So this is an opportunity for us to come together as a group and share stories across different disciplines. So this is a really great opportunity. And what I've seen for myself personally is, as I have progressed in my career, the meeting has meant something very different for me every time. What is the most exciting topic? As I mentioned, I am now doing the clinical trials at my company, and so of course I'm beelining toward human immunology. So I used to come here and go to the translational seminars and what's going on, but now being in a company, it's been now 6 years that I've been at Biogen, there's so much focus on how are those preclinical studies translating to the human condition, that is what I think is the most exciting part, is really asking those probing questions about how does this relate? You have this animal model, what is the translation to the human condition, what stage of disease? And so when people are proposing potential therapeutics, that's what I'm listening for, is how relevant is this to that particular patient at this particular stage? And but it's exciting. It's exciting that we still have in the academic setting and in the government setting people who are doing the research that can provide information for the targets that we can go after. So that to me is very exciting. What are the differences in experiences between men and women? I would say between men and women, between minorities and non-minorities. The answer will probably be the same, which is how you come into the room matters. And sometimes there are different expectations of a man versus a woman, and how a woman presents herself, even saying the same words, can be interpreted very differently. And I think it's been very interesting for me over my career, because I had heard a lot of advice about the importance of being at the table, don't sit on the side. And you sort of don't think about it, but then when you hear it enough times, you're like, okay, let me try this experiment. Let me try this exercise and see if it makes a difference. And it actually did. And I don't know if I was more frustrated by the idea, but I definitely appreciated the fact that I had the heads up. So, when you come into a room, you may be tired, you're not really trying to pay attention to where you're sitting or where if you say anything, if you don't say anything. But I've had all of these mentors who would be whispering or yelling in my ear and bringing that to remembrance and paying attention to how that unfolds in terms of how you are respected or treated in the room. That now makes a big difference. And I think that you can't underestimate presence. And I think that that's something that perhaps for males, there's some kind of pass that's given in some cases. It's like, maybe if he's quiet, he's just tired. But if a woman is quiet, it might be that she's timid. Even though neither one of them said anything, you have this interpretation. So you have to pay a lot more attention to how you enter the room, how you present yourself in the room, how you interact with people in the room. And that's undeniable. I've seen that over and over again. And I would continue to tell people you have to pay attention to how you are. The other piece is culture. If you don't pay attention to the culture, you could also be perceived incorrectly. But those are the two pieces, is your presence and respecting and understanding the culture. Work-life balance. I love this question. What I usually say is it all works out well. At work, they say it's work-work balance. I tell them what work to do, and then I go and get a life. But the truth is, you have to decide how you're going to spread your bandwidth. So we all get a certain number of bandwidth chips, and you can choose to give everybody a few, or you can choose to save them and focus. And I have friends who choose to give everybody a few bandwidth chips. I personally do not. If there are 100 things to do, I will pick the top 4. I will focus on those, give all of my bandwidth to that. I will also say that I am ultra protective of my bandwidth. And so even if someone were to ask, me to do something and it's a great opportunity, the first thing I say is, we have to figure out what I'm not going to do if I do this. So I don't try to stretch myself beyond. It's more of something has to be replaced. Ideally, 2 things get replaced to do that one, because I'm always looking at whether or not I can have enough bandwidth to make sure it's a quality outcome. That's my goal.